know what Agenda 21 is, could you please provide us a brief overview of this program?
Sure. Agenda 21 is the action plan. It's the blueprint, the comprehensive plan that was signed on to by 178 nations plus the Holy See in 1992. It's the United Nations plan, and it's a plan to inventory and control all land, water, plants, minerals, construction, means of production, food, energy, everything on the planet, law enforcement, education, and of course, information and human beings. So this is, a comprehensive plan of action, an inventory and control plan. It's about data sharing. It's about money transferring from the developed nations to the lesser developed nations. And ultimately, it's about destroying your ability to have a voice, destroying your ability to have a representative government. It's about changing your government to governance and taking away your voice, giving your entirely destroying your ability to be free and to be independent. And the goal, of course, is to transfer power from local and individuals to a global governance system. So you can't do that all at once, and it's been a long process. And you see it as, exactly what you're seeing right now. It's a plan to disrupt and destroy the existing system. It's a plan of transformation and control. And that's what we're living through right now.
I would have to agree that it is absolutely taking place right now. And many people may not be very familiar with Agenda 21, despite the fact that this has been around for some time and it's taking place right now. But I would say that maybe more people might be more familiar, for example, with the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, because we've seen all of the celebrities championing this, and both of these programs are UN programs. What is the difference, if any, between Agenda 21 and the 2030 Agenda?
Mm-hmm. Well, Agenda 21 is the agenda for the 21st century. And of course, you know that the century is 100 years long. And so Agenda 2030 is a 30-year milestone within the Agenda 21 plan. So I really think this is a public relations sort of end game around those of us who've been really alerting the public to Agenda 21. Because now that they're saying, well, Agenda 21 has been replaced by Agenda 2030, there's so much great information out there about Agenda 21 that they're trying to divert you from focusing on Agenda 21. Now, when you know that Agenda 2030 is simply a milestone year within that 100-year period, the milestone years are 2020, 2025, 2030, and 2050. They really fully expect to have this entire plan locked up and completed by 2050. If you go to America2050.org, which is a Ford Foundation and Rockefeller Foundation project, you'll get a look at what their idea is for in fact, what they want the United States to devolve into, which is to destroy the sense of having a unified union, and to, in fact, not have 50 states any longer, to have 11 mega regions. And in fact, what this plan does is it destroys the concept of the nation state, and it completely destroys it and devolves it into the city states or regions. And these are not, like individual cities, like say San Francisco or New York. These are regions that are governed by megacities, which are huge, enormous cities. It could be part of Washington State, part of Oregon, part of Idaho, and part of British Columbia. So it breaks the national borders, it breaks state borders, breaks, of course, county and city borders. And this is about destroying your ability to actually be able to control what it is that happens to you. It's a plan that is actually, it's a global plan, but they implement it locally. So it looks like a local plan. It's always called different things, no matter where you live. So that's another way of being a stealth plan, you see, is that you'll never see it called Agenda 21. It's always called something else. And it's right there in your town. It's a regional plan, and it's right there where you live right now.
Typically, they do call it some type of sustainable development, or at least try to a green new something. It's for the betterment of mankind, of course, and they always try to seem. It seems like they're packaging this agenda around the climate initiative. Like the global. First, it was global warming, then it's global cooling. Now it's just climate change. And so, what is your take really on the climate crisis in general? Is there a real man-made climate change issue that is going to wipe out humanity if we don't obey and follow their new paradigm of global governance, or is that just being used as a front to usher in this new system?
Yeah, let me just say, since I think I haven't mentioned this, is that sustainable development is Agenda 21. It was defined by the United Nations in a book that they commissioned called Our Common Future in 1987. So sustainable development, of course, everybody thinks it's so good. It's got those buzzwords. It sounds so cool. And so as far as climate change goes, as I say, if they could have arranged an alien landing, they would have done that because, and of course, COVID-19, this is a way to, well, here's a way to think of it. Global crisis requires a global response, and that justifies global governance. So what could be more global, you think, than climate change? Well, how about a pandemic? So this is, kind of the way that, and the other thing is that it's designed to panic people. It's designed to engage you in a really visceral way, to frighten you to the point where you are literally concerned that you will not survive. And of course, COVID-19 takes it, to the next level. But, that's the purpose of this thing, whether there's actually, of course, the climate is always changing, certainly. But whether this is, something imminent or whatever, it's irrelevant, actually, because the thing is so powerful and so useful that it would have been invented regardless.
Now, Ms. Koire, I'm sure that you have seen the World Economic Forum come out recently and announce their Great Reset initiative, coupled with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Now, what was your initial reaction to seeing them come out and boldly proclaim that we need this Great Reset because of this series of crises that we have taking place? Because it seems like as of the beginning of 2020, they have really accelerated their agenda. What does the Great Reset mean in your view, and what stage of the rollout are we in, would you say?
Well, I have to say I've been really concerned and saddened in a deep sense to see this, because I really thought we had more time. And I don't want to be a person who's an alarmist. I think this is really a very serious moment that we're in. This is one reason why I called my book Behind the Green Mask, because they stay behind that green mask. They don't want to take that mask off, because once the mask is off, then the boots and the jack boots and the truncheons come out. And I guess I'm concerned mainly because it looks like we're really getting to that point. And the other thing that happens when they reveal their plans, the plans are always right out there. They've always been right out there. In fact, you could go back to the 1880s and look at the Fabian Socialists, at Bertrand Russell, H.G. Wells, at George Bernard Shaw, and you'll see the plan is right there. There's no question about it, and it's just been they've been refining it with the ability that they're getting with technology. And I think that is really where we're at now, is that they're less concerned about us. They're less concerned about our objection, and that is what concerns me. Is that the less concerned they are, it's sort of a message to us that we're not really concerned to them. So therefore, it makes me think, maybe we're at that point where there's not much we can do. But I think really there is still a lot that we can do, and I do want to talk about that. But what is happening now is that the technology has caught up to the plans of these people. They've always had these same plans. And I will say that as far as technology goes, what has man always wanted? Man has always wanted two main things: to live forever and to create life. And we are very close to these things. I don't know about forever, but we're close to major life extension and the creation of life. All you have to do is go to Cornell University's plan. They've got a video out right now. It's engineers create 3 major traits of life. Go and take a look at that. They are actually creating life. So, and there is no ethical stop on these people, and that is a major concern. This is, what you saw with the Nazis, with Stalin, with Mao, that there is literally nothing that holds these people back. So when they have the technological ability, and you look at the fourth industrial revolution or whatever it is they want to call it, they're talking about total digital connectivity. They're talking about a new social contract. Well, I don't know about you, but a contract generally means that both parties have, something to say about it. But this is a contract where, none of us have anything to say. And I think we're getting to see what it looks like when you go out in the street, you see. And this is one reason why this is all, we can talk about this when we get more deeply into it, but this is one reason why you're seeing this kind of hysteria in the street, because it's a lesson, and it is a notification to us. This is what's going to happen to you if you go out into the street and try and object to this plan when you see what it really is. So they are gearing up for this with the militarization of police, et cetera.